True Sky, Ophiuchus, welcome to your reading. So this is your reading for the month of June, and the main tarot I'm using at the moment is the Sacred Circle Tarot, and I'm using it due to the solar transit through the sign of True Sky, Taurus, which is in effect until about the 20th of June, when the sun will move into True Sky, Gemini. And then I will use a different decks. So your reading looks really interesting so far. I actually just recorded half of it and realized I wasn't recording it. So anyway, here we go. So on the bottom of the deck, for you, we have the King of Wands. So there could be, this is the underlying energy of the reading, the shadow of the reading. However, there could be an underlying of a potential figure in your life. It could be you. However, because the Ophiuchus is like between the Scorpio and Sag, some say its element is like the ether. However, because it is between Scorpio and Sag, it kind of really does have that element of potential water and then also potential fire involved. So potentially the King of Wands could be linked with Ophiuchus due to the Sagittarius energy at the tail end of it. However, this could be just a figure in your life for you this month. So they could be of the like Aries, Sag, Leo, and even Ophiuchus sign, all prominent placements in those signs, or the houses or the planets that rule those signs, like prominent in their chart. Or it could even be an aspect of you. So he is a very creative masculine figure. He's a leader over the age of 30, that kind of thing. So it could be learning about being like a creative leader in your own life this month. However, that is the shadow of the deck. The first card you have is an interesting one, I think. So it is the card, the Web. So the web is associated with the goddess, the Weaver goddess from Welsh legend. Arianrhod, mistress of Caer Erenrod, the spiral castle of death, initiation and rebirth. Out of her own body, she spins the thread of being and weaves it to form matter, the cosmos itself. She is the goddess of fate, who spins the thread of destiny and weaves the web that joins all life together. Her spinning wheel is the wheel of the stars, her threads the threads of life, death and rebirth. Her castle reflects the spiraling thread. The ancients saw it as the corona borealis at the North Star, where souls regenerated. The spiral shape, which is the basis of the spider's web, is an ancient and nearly universal symbol of regeneration and rebirth. It's the spiral maze of life and death. And interestingly, I could read all of it, however, I think this is a really interesting point, considering this is Ophiuchus's reading for the month. So the symbol of the Weaver goddess is the spider. Some say that the spider's web is the 13th sign of the zodiac, representing fate and destiny. So interesting that here we have this card pop up as your first card for the month for Ophiuchus, which is the 13th sign. I just thought that was really interesting. Okay. The web relates to your sense of self. The realization of yourself as an individual, but also as an individual who is nevertheless connected with the planet you live on. You live on and the other life that inhabits it. It relates to the development of a personal morality and conscience, an inner sense of right and wrong. You must recognize that your actions and words do not exist in isolation, but also affect others. Being polite and charming because you want people to like you is not enough. You must deal with people fairly and sensitively because those qualities are meaningful and important to you. The weaver goddess who spins the thread of life and the pattern of fate. Her web connects all things in a net of power, and your actions vibrate the web, affecting all that lies along the thread. Through the web, every action will eventually return to you. So, whether they are actions of good or ill. So we construct our own fate and are the instrument of our own justice. So this is telling you you must make a decision based on your own sense of what is right rather than listening to the advice of others. Any action you take must be based on careful deliberation. Consider its far-reaching effects on yourself and others. So it can indicate that truth and justice will prevail in a dispute, perhaps even a legal action. So there could be some kind of legal situation that you're involved in this month that is very significant, Ophiuchus. The next card we have is the Four of Wands. So this is our traditional card to do with home and family. So this legal dispute could very well be linked to your home and family. This is the crowning card of your reading for the month. So this is a very important point here. And then next to it, we also have the Ten of Wands, which is that card of oppressive energies. So you've been working really hard on something and you're really not seeing much results from your hard work. Then you have the Green Man. So the Green Man is equivalent to your Fool card. So he's all about the new beginning. In this deck, it talks about spring being the new beginning in the year when it comes to the vegetative cycle. So this definitely signifies a new beginning and the beginning of a new journey in your life. And it very much could be tied into this fate energies and also this justice that you're experiencing this month as well. And then we have your central card for the month, the Page of Swords, Thought. So he could be bringing in a message. It could be an individual or it could be something in yourself that you're needing to learn at this time. If they're an individual, they could have prominent air sign placings or houses or the planets linked to them prominent in their chart. So it could also be a child. It could be a child involved in this legal proceeding here, in this family situation. And it's been quite oppressive, this legal situation. The Chariot, however, does signify victory. So you will be victorious in this situation. You know, it's quite a active card. So, you know, you might have to do a lot. You might have to really get out there and it can involve travel. So it could be even linked with a vehicle. And maybe this oppressive force could even be to do with that. Like you might be a bit restricted or this vehicle might need repairs or there's some oppressive force linked in here with this victory and this vehicle. And also there could be some kind of message that you receive this month as well. That's really significant. That's your central card for the month. So the next card we have for you is the Ten of Swords. So the Ten of Swords is the card of disillusion. It does suggest that something has ended. It could be a relationship. It could be, you know, to do with this journey with this child or these ideas, these new ideas. But there is an ending here and it's painful. It's not... you know, something that you would have wanted. However, you need to move on. It's a painful ending and yeah, you need to move on from it. I mean, we do have the Green Man here, which suggests a new beginning, actually a positive new beginning too. And then also you have the Six of Wands as the base of the Matter card. So this definitely indicates success at this time. And on a, not just on a personal level, but others will be aware of your success. You know, even people that maybe you don't know that personally. And then you have the Six of Swords. So this card definitely indicates you've been going through hard times and that you are actually traveling into calmer waters now. So the next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Green Witch Tarot. And on the bottom of the deck, we actually have the Standing Stone, number 11. So similarly to the first card, it has that link to the Justice card. So there really could be some underlying energies for the month for you to do with justice, and definitely linking here with this King of Wands that we got. So the first card that we have here to clarify the web is the Four of Chalices. So this is the card of dissatisfaction. You know, emotionally, you're not content in your life, in your situation. And this is linked to this justice, potential law and order situation that you're involved in. It's just not interesting to you. You don't really want to be involved in this. There is a warning associated with this card, however, that sometimes when people are in this state, they can make things worse. So sometimes people are tempted to like have an affair or maybe spending too much money on materialistic items that really don't matter, or, you know, there is that, you know, because there's a bit of a void in yourself and in your life, and that you're kind of almost looking to fill it, you know. So be aware of that energy at this time. It's definitely not a good energy to try to fill, you know. And obviously it's not a great situation that if that's what you're in this situation, but you just need to kind of trust that, you know, the divine order will figure it out, and just act in your best sense, you know. Do what it is you feel like you need to do when you think about your sense of justice, you know, and not just yourself, but also for others as well. So for the Four of Wands, this home situation, which involves family and home, you have the Page of Pentacles. So this definitely is saying there could be a child involved. The pages are linked to children. It doesn't have to be though. If not, it's like a new beginning as a new energy, and it's of the material resources. So through this home and family situation, you're going to have access to material resources and a new opportunity in that, or this child will. There's a link with a child and potential resources coming in. The next card for the Ten of Wands, to clarify, we have the Queen of Chalices. So similarly to the King of Wands, because Ophiuchus is between the signs, and so the early part of Ophiuchus is linked in with the water energies of Scorpio, and then the latter part of Ophiuchus is linked in with the fire energies of the Sag. Some say that it has its own element entirely, like this element of ether, and that I'm pretty sure its ruling planet is Chiron. However, some have said it's another, like Eris, or I think Lilith maybe. So the Queen of Chalices, that you have to clarify this, you know, hard work, which doesn't feel like it's really getting anywhere and you're feeling really overwhelmed. We have this Queen of Chalices. So this could be you. It's a feminine force, you know, she is a leader, but she's very empathic and very caring and kind and gentle, and it could be something even that through this process you might even learn or need to use to help get you through these times, these oppressive forces, you know, just trying to use your gentle empathic skills to get you through. Or it could be an individual that even helps you at this time, a really kind-hearted feminine. The next card we have to clarify the Green Man, which is a really lovely combination, which is like our full card, the Green Man. The new beginning is the Star. So this is definitely saying this is a new beginning, and also that you have been going through hard times. However, now is the time to focus on what it is that you wish for. What do you hope for? So focusing on those hopes and wishes can be a really good way to start this new cycle. To clarify the Ten of Wands, to clarify the Page of Swords, we have the Ten of Wands. So this central situation for the month for you with this young energy, which is on the mental realm, much to do with thoughts and potential messages coming in, could even be a child, related to a child. We also have the Ten of Wands again, which we had up here as well, clarified by the Queen of Chalices. So there's definitely a month of hard work for you, and you may not see a lot of gains this month. This is the central theme of the month. So there could be new projects that you are beginning at this time, and they may take a lot of effort and work, and you may not really see the results yet. So there's a bit of a hold here. To clarify the Chariot, which was a definitely positive card, we do have the Five of Wands to clarify. So this is definitely saying there'll be success, there will be victory. However, there's a lot of figures in this card. There's a lot going on, and there is the potential for conflicts, for even arguments, and competition here. So ultimately, the best thing to focus on in situations with multiple people is leadership skills, and especially cooperative, tactful, diplomacy, these kind of energies to help group dynamics, to reduce conflicts. And you'll be successful at this. So the next card we have to clarify the Ten of Swords is the Oak King. So the Oak King is like the Hanged Man card. So it has a very introspective energy. And this is to clarify this Ten of Swords, which is the ending of a painful situation. And it is linked here with our central card. So there is some kind of ending that's happening for you this month. The advice is to go within, figure out what it is that you need to leave behind, and do that. So there is often some kind of sacrifice needed when it comes to the Hanged Man, or the Oak King in this case. And try to leave that which you want there, but let go of this negative ending. For the Six of Wands, which is a card of success, and it's definitely about a celebration on an external level, we have the Seven of Athame. So this card is a funny card. It's quite not a negative, exactly negative card, because it can signify success as well. However, it does indicate that you may need to use some type of cunning or trickery here. Obviously hunting rabbits which is what he has here. They're not the easiest creatures to catch. They're very fast and very swift. So you need to be a good hunter to catch them. So you may need to incorporate like some guile or trickery or deception here to actually be successful. For the Six of Swords, which was about going through hard times and then actually entering into calmer waters, which could be around the end of the month. It's the last card for the main spread. You have the Queen of Pentacles. So once you're through this hard time, there will be an abundance of resources coming in for you. The Queen of Pentacles could be a person that has these resources. It's a feminine energy, and they're of the earth signs, houses, or planet predominantly in their chart. And they could even be teaching you something to do with management of resources or something along these lines. But there's definitely abundance coming in for you. The next deck I'm going to use is the Earth Magic Oracle. On the bottom of the deck, we have Volcano, volatility. So there could be an underlying energy of volatility for you this month. First card we have is Clouds, shape-shifting, Whale, Breach, and Mountain, Strength. So the first card, the Cloud card, talks about shape-shifting. So this is for this home situation, this home and family situation, which can involve a child and or just a new beginning financially. This shape-shifting card very much talks about the way that we can experiment with our appearance, with our emotions, with different personas, potentially even like where you live. So there could be some serious changes here. This shape-shifting is telling you to try to adapt to your situation and to try out different forms at this time could be really helpful. And that you can even try to develop a stronger relationship with your aura if you're into that. The next card that we have, the Whale, which is energy is breach, symbolizes the fact that we can get very sick of being in certain environments and that it's really good to, when we're feeling that way, change it up. So maybe you've been spending too much time inside and you need to get outside. Maybe you might have even been spending too much time online and you need to take like a break from that world. Or, there's some change that you need. So the whale can come out of the ocean and they also can live under the ocean. And so it's talking about being in different realms and making sure that you're balancing your time and energies and not letting yourself get too stuck in one state or another. And this is linked here with this like potential mental project, this new ideas that you're having, linked to this overworking project. So maybe you have been overworking and it's telling you to take a break, make sure you make time for fun and other things, not just work all the time. The next card that we have for you, Ophiuchus, is the Mountain. So this card talks about strength. So it's the strength of the earth. There is an element of almost ambition here as well. So the mountain almost attempts to touch the sky. It's the way of the earth. There's almost an ambition there to rise. And then also it can encourage the human spirit to want to rise above things as well. This is for this success that you've experienced or you'll be experiencing this month. And linked to this, potential cunning, trickery or guile that you may need to secure this success. So there is a sense of ambition here. And maybe so there could be, there may be some, ambition that you're trying to achieve, some kind of mountain that you feel you need to conquer this month. The next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Nature Speak Oracle. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Tulip, trust in your efforts. So there's some kind of divine energy here that you need to trust in your efforts with. The first card we have, this is to clarify the clouds, the shape-shifting, is Forest, awaken your magic. So there's some kind of magical shape-shifting that needs to occur this month to do with this home family situation with the new financial opportunity. Then for the central cards, you have Cattail, spread seeds. And this is linked to the breach. So this is about making sure that, you're not putting too much of your time in one area or another. and this is about spreading seeds. So by spreading your energy throughout different domains in your life, in different places in the world, you're going to spread your energy far more better than if you just, overworking yourself in one area. Then we have Rose, love and healing, and this is linked to this mountain strength. So maybe this situation, I don't see a lot of love. I mean, there is 2 figures here. So there is that couple there. So maybe this is to do with a successful relationship, that has been a real challenge for you. And once you get through it, it's going to be, a much more pleasant experience. The next cards I'm going to clarify with are the Green Witch Oracle cards. And on the bottom of the deck for you, we have Mortar and Pestle, Integration, Subtlety and Thoroughness. And then we have Bee, Seeds, and Sun. So the Bee was to clarify the forest. So we have community, cooperation, and sweetness with this awakening your magic. So there is some link to community here and cooperation, which could be with this family situation, but it could be bigger than that, not just family. Obviously, community could be extended family, could be, friends. It could be just acquaintances or even work colleagues that are involved here. And for the central cards, we have, oh my goodness, so we have seeds, new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. And then we have spread seeds, cattail. So interesting that the underlying energy for your central cards is this thought page, which is about new ideas, new projects, but new ideas. So these new ideas, by the sounds of it, they might be hard work, but they do need to be spread far and wide. So, maybe across multiple different media in your life, mediums. The next cards, actually the last cards I'm going to clarify with are the Australian wildflower cards. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Rosella Flower, Strength. So there's an underlying energy this month linked with strength, which is interesting because we did get the strength card with the mountain as well. So the first wildflower is Sundew, Focus. Your attention is being called to focus on a particular area of your life. There is a good energy around you and you should be optimistic. You should get what it is you are seeking. A celebration, especially surrounding something you have desired and worked hard towards, should be on the horizon soon. This flower answers a firm yes to anything you are questioning. You should be extra alert right now and double check everything. As a challenge, Sundew is warning you not to become lazy or haphazard, or you will lose something important to you. As a healer, Sundew assists willpower issues and mental activities. So this is to clarify the community, cooperation, and sweetness. The next card we have for you is Mula Mula. This is your central card for the month. Mula Mula Recovery. So that's a lovely energy, this recovery, especially because we've had a bit of energy of like overworking and some draining energies there. And even we have the disillusionment with the Ten of Swords as well. So Mula Mula, it's actually widespread throughout inland Australia. A problem could be very close to being solved. Do not fear the process or the fire of passage that may need to occur. When Mula Mula appears, it is a herald of rejuvenation and a new vitality that can now begin. But it also can indicate a challenge with an unwilling attitude surrounding the cleansing and release that needs to occur. It's time to let go so you can move on and recover from past hurts. It's also very much a warning not to look back. There are connections with a fear of fire or getting burnt. Working on what is holding you back. The challenge of Mula Mula is giving in to victim mentality and in not being willing to accept change. As a healer, Mula Mula works well with those fearful of fire and heat, and with those suffering any deep traumas. And that was linked to this seeds, the new ideas, hope, and open-mindedness. And then the last card we have for you for the month of June is Emu Bush Partnership. Which is interesting because we did have, in these cards here, we did have the love and healing, also these two figures on this card. So there is, I think, a potential partnership here involved in your situation. So emu bush is found throughout inland Australia as well. Its fruit is favoured by the emu. The indigenous name is Amanga, I think. Amanga. Used in bush medicine for muscle and joint issues by boiling the leaves. Flowers in winter and spring. Emu bush speaks of partnerships, and this includes joint ventures in business as well as romantic commitments. The energy of this flower is very strongly aligned with entities working together, moving in the same direction to achieve positive outcomes. Look at the alliances you currently have, the partnerships you enjoy, and ensure that the dealings are fair and in balance. Emu bush does signal new partnerships and groups forming, as well as highlighting the possible benefits of mentorship. The challenge of emu bush is that of deceptions, sabotage, and misunderstandings within alliances. There is a particular focus on gossip and on untruths being uncovered. As a healer, emu bush enables things to run smoothly. It opens the way for actions to occur without hindrance, while supporting easy flowing communication. So that's lovely, and that's linked in here with the healing energy, happiness, comfort, and joy. So this is your cards for the month of June, Ophiuchus. When it comes to the true sky this month, it's quite an interesting month. We have a fair amount of movement. Obviously, within a month you do. However, at the moment, there's not currently any planets in your sign specifically. However, there's, potentially quite a few aspects between signs. So currently the sign is in true sky Taurus, and it's actually a fair way along now. So if your placings in Ophiuchus are, somewhat, early to mid Ophiuchus, the sun could be opposing those placements at the moment, and continuing on up until the 20th, the sun will be in that sign. So the sun is in that opposition aspect to Ophiuchus at the moment. So there could be, it's interesting, we did have the sun card come up. I believe here at the bottom we had a sun card. So it's not that an opposition is entirely negative. It can have a, contrasting kind of energy, and it can also very much be linked to like teaching and kind of mentorship, which it was talking about as well in this reading. So sometimes, certain energies come into your life to teach you things. It can maybe seem opposing at the time, but it's about you developing those character traits yourself. So there could be that kind of energy for you this month, especially in the early part up until, you know, the 20th or so. Then we also have, currently we do have Saturn in Pisces, which could be trining your Ophiuchian placements. And we also have, at the moment, so this would be later on in the month, the Venus and also Mercury will move into true sky Cancer, and they could be trining your Ophiuchian placements as well. So that would be later on in the month. So that's interesting in that it did talk about, you know, a fair amount of mental work this month for you with the Mercury. And then it also did mention aspects of love that need to be worked on this month as well, which is Venus's energy. So yeah, that's pretty much, apart from obviously the moon moving around. It was in your sign some days back now, so it won't be for quite a while now. But yeah, that's your reading for the month of June. I hope you have a great month ahead. If you've made it this far and you got anything out of the reading, if you could please like, comment, and or subscribe to my channel. It's completely free for you if you have an account. That would be wonderful. If you haven't already, if you already have, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you interacting with my channel here. Wishing you all the best. I'll be back soon with another reading.